Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. If you're new to this self-therapeutic multimedia project, psychiatric way to solve problems, challenges in my life, as well as a self-improvement process for me to reach the heights, goals, and ambitions that I've set for myself. And so, welcome back. This is the first of two live streams. What you see is what you get. Take a look in the title. Take a look in front of us. What do we have to cover today? Largely after image. What do I talk about when I say after image? This is a continuation from yesterday's live stream. That was the before image, where I'm covering all of the side business products, paperwork, invoices, packaging, and I'm covering all the logistical work that went into organizing things in, terms of inventory management. Let's just move around here for a second so that you can see what we have to cover, right? This stuff up here as well as down here, and I've actually moved one of the things into the closet region. So that's region C right there for the closet, and of course D1, D2, so that's D2 right there, and D3. So from D2 and D3, we're going to move all the products from here into the corresponding locations, sort of like a bin location. If you work in a warehouse, you know what I'm talking about, shipping, receiving. So that being said, that's what we're covering today in the first live stream. The second live stream today will be covering largely cleanup, or we're trying to tie up some loose ends, a lot of stuff that is not actually, some of it's related to business, but most of it is not. It's really just hitting up a friend of mine who I have been slacking off on, and I'm going to get to him eventually, as well as some devices and digital stuff right here, some scanning, electronic stuff. So that's what we're going to talk about in the, I guess, next 45 minutes or so. It's split into two streams. Of course, the introduction to the Ahn Rho Project. Right now, we're going to deliver it. I gave a little snippet at the very beginning, which I kind of fucked up. So, self-therapeutic, psychiatric, multimedia project for me to solve the problems, challenges, obstacles in my life, as well as a self-improvement process for me to reach the heights, goals, and ambitions I've set for myself. That's how it's supposed to go down. I'm adding some new stuff to it. Of course, the Ahn Rho Project is broken down into many different little sub-series, and I use a lot of different analogies to describe those sub-series, as well as the Ahn Rho Project itself. One of which, the Ahn Rho Project, the analogy that I like to use a lot, is sort of like a real life game. So if you were to manage all these different domains of life, and that's one other aspect that's also very important to the Ahn Rho Project in terms of communication, sub-series, domains, and analogies. So domains of life include finance, employment, work, money, finance, relationships, all that kind of stuff. Those are the usually most important things, like health. But you can break those down into greater subdivisions, such as relationships works down into what colleagues and friends, to, we are classmates way back in the day, to your boss, your personal closest circle, all that kind of stuff. And those are the sub variables of life within that particular domain, right? And you can break it down further. And so that's how that works. And so each sub-series focuses on any combination. I can talk about, say, item catalog sub-series. That one focuses on, inventory management. It's like applying business fundamentals over to your personal life. And another one, 1000 Days Till Death, which you see in my bio, my description, that I was working on that for maybe, it's almost been a year now. Assuming I only have 30 months in my lifespan remaining, and that was in January 2020, so I've already gone 33% of the way through, which you can see in the title. So obviously these are different sub-series, and I like to describe that 1000 day sub-series as the analogy I use for that one is usually along the lines of a time record. So if I were to look back on myself maybe 30 years down the road, if I don't get run over by the bus tomorrow morning or today, then of course it'd be very interesting to just compare myself back and forth. So with that being said, this is the Ahn Rho Project, and I welcome you all to Facebook, Twitch, wherever you're coming from. There's even a Korean platform, so 안녕하세요, or wherever the world you're from, bonjour, salut, mes amis. So why don't we dive into it? Like I said, business products. We're just going to get right down to our content. Like I've mentioned, the past 4 months have been absolute hell. I've been reeling from having everything collapse in on itself because I volunteer at two organizations. I have full-time job. I do this project, the Ahn Rho Project, and of course I do a side business as well that is related to my field back in the day in academia, biomedical science, research and development. So I'm a very STEM oriented and analytical person. So that being said, yesterday's live stream, let's move to the closet region. You see that stuff in there. It's not, I was gonna say all that shit, but it's not that shit. That's just me being slang. Right here at the back here, there's a lot of very useful products. So it's the exact opposite of shit. We have complete meals. Like you just put the powder in and it's a complete meal for carbohydrates, all your carbs, all your protein, all that kind of stuff, including full, with all the nutrients, antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. So all that kind of large products have been put inside that large box and stuck inside that closet. That's C1 of the closet. That's what I've designated as. I should really make a map in the future. I actually had one about 2 years down the road, but back then, 2 years back, and it's completely useless now because it's so. I could show it right now, but it'd be pointless because it's so outdated and rudimentary. Anyways, and then we have the product here, of course, that we also covered yesterday's live stream. In addition to one in the closet right now, you can see all of them just kind of stacked up in, broken down by organ systems. So these ones focus on specifically your immune system, very relevant to COVID-19 right now. We have the neurological system, so the nervous system. Over here we have the digestive, so HEPA plus for the liver, proflavanol C for the cardiovascular, and up there we have the essential ones. Now, of course, they're broken down by size and expiry date, so first in, first out. If you're familiar with counting principles, right, I want to use the first ones. Before, they were scattered all over the room and in these little boxes here, so like I said, these box packages, and I've just sorted them out from clients, and put them out into, I'm counting by product as opposed to by client and customer. And of course we have on the side here this stuff here that we covered yesterday as well. It's just a big mixture. I said we have some skin care products, we have some hand sanitizers, we have some probiotics, and even some gift items I received from my business partner. So with that being said, of course, and some, the boxes themselves and the plastic bags, can't forget about that. It's all been covered. Yesterday's live stream also managed to cover, I think a little bit. I talked about wanting to use this down here. So first of all, I'm not getting too much detail since I did yesterday, but here's the garbage that I mentioned from yesterday's tech. So this is going to be thrown away. A USB drive. I'm running short on storage on my laptop, and so I didn't realize I would use this. I just bought. It's real funny. I bought it because I'm a 90s baby, right? So I mentioned this before. It's always funny looking back and saying there's a floppy disk. I mentioned this before, and that's kind of like a running joke at this point. All right, so moving, and of course we have the individual packets here that, like I said, take out for every day. Now, this is the main highlight today, and so that was just a little recap of what happened yesterday. 7 minutes in, there's not too much to cover in terms of this. I do want to talk a little bit about, of course, what it cost me to get this done. So down here on the bottom right hand side it says Aftermath Part 2, Logistics, Administration. I want to talk about administration because that cost me something, and that was basically, I said, I had a goal set in mind. I had several goals yesterday. Most of them were fulfilled and then satisfied, but there was one thing that I feel I fell short on, which is okay because I can do it today. I have time to do it today, Christmas Eve, right? So, by the way, guys, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. So, I can get back in touch with somebody who I've been trying to get in touch with for a while now, and it's because obviously I'm not going to work on Christmas Eve. Okay, so we have all this stuff here. Why don't we get to it so that we can speak a little bit on that. So we have all these products here I mentioned. This one's for my cousin already. I talked about that yesterday, so that I can really move this aside. And then, of course, the bags here, all the packaging. Now, the most important thing that I hadn't done yesterday, of course, I didn't realize that there's actually introductory booklets in here. So that's usually for the clients and customers that I would have, especially prospective customers. I don't have that many customers right now. I just started out. And then, of course, we have the bag here, the gift bag I mentioned. These are all gifts right here. Inside this bag, like I said, came from a conference meeting, and I got a booklet and a pen inside. Very nice, very sturdy. And then we have a bunch of these little miscellaneous things that I received from my business partner KM, which is she's a fantastic person. I just want to say that, of course, there's also some, it's a good mixture. There's some cash in here. You see that TD kind of slip right there. That's the thing that she used. I guess she's with TD. And then we have a receipt here, which I can, submit to tax returns, income tax returns. and a little keychain with a penguin here. So, and then there's even some, there's a product guide in here. I might as well take out and show, but you know, it's not particularly important. You can see all the tablets on the inside here, right? And it goes through in detail, right? It's really in depth. Now, this kind of stuff I haven't really sorted out. I wanted to mention this because what happened yesterday is I wanted to get back to somebody on Discord, and what happened is I couldn't because I realized I had at least 2 hours worth of electronic scanning of documents to get through. And I'm obviously not using very sophisticated materials. I don't have a scanner or a printer as I speak, which is funny because if I run a business, I should have that kind of basic materials. So what I've been doing obviously is using my makeshift kind of welfare gear and using my phone. But by the way, shout out to NoteBlock, huh? If you guys don't use this app, NoteBlock's amazing. I like it. That's the app that I use to do the screen, the scanning of electronic documents. So typically speaking, it has a lot of features, and you know, this isn't a promotion or anything. This is just what I use. So I've been scanning all this stuff, and then most importantly, we're gonna get to in here, that inside this box, you see the books inside. So I have to scan the books, but most importantly, I mentioned that there were invoices and my own business terms and agreements that I signed up to. And yesterday they were not. As of yesterday, they were not. As of yesterday evening, I had finished scanning everything there, and then I moved on further to scan some more documents. There's a lot of training materials. I usually want to scan the covers of the books here, the founding, the research materials as well, the patents. But again, that will come in due time, especially some of this in Cantonese because I'm 廣東人嚟. So basically I speak, you know, I'm Cantonese. So at the very back here we have some paperwork that's also in Chinese, and I want to actually get that down. Traditional Chinese, not the you know, communist Chinese. Anyways, that being said, why is that relevant? You can tell that there's a lot of a deep-seated it's very divided, by the way, I should mention, when it comes to Chinese politics. You're either extremely conservative or extremely liberal. That sounds a lot like the US right now, doesn't it? Yeah, anyways, with that being said, well, why else do you think that we get all the accountants and doctors, right? Because they're extremely conservative. Alright, so that's that. And then we have a crate at the very bottom down here. And I just want to say, of course, once I've finished covering all this stuff here, that's a little tangent. We have all this stuff here. I wanted to mention the logistics of this box. I'm going to take this box, I'm going to stick it onto the side over there. So basically this is D1, D2, D3. So D3 items for paperwork and books and invoices, all that kind of stuff is going to go right there at the very back corner on the table. So we're moving from region D1 to region A, and that's the office. And of course, if you check on my previous live streams, logistical reviews, which I hope you don't really do that, because honestly speaking, like I said, the whole Ahn Rho project is just completely experimental. So it's not the most pleasant thing to watch. But needless to say, trust me when I say that's region A. There are 7 regions in the room, and that's region A. So I moved all the paperwork books there. It makes a lot of sense. The book, this gift related materials, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I know I have to keep the receipts, but the rest of the stuff I don't know what I'm going to do. The products here and the bags, again, this one's from a cousin, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm not going to keep it. And then most importantly though, if I move this off and I don't know where I'm going to put, honestly, some of these materials, but the crate here is what I really want to get through. Is we have this stuff right here, the gift materials from one of my colleagues who was retiring, and we had this big celebration for her. For her, it's not too great because she was going to miss us, and she was retiring to take care of her father, who's severely ill at the age of 90-some. So, you know, I went through and I sorted out all the stuff on the inside here, and this is decorations. It was a huge fucking mess, but now that I've sorted everything out and now I can finally put this, I can find a place to put these gift materials inside. I can finally take this and stash the decorations box back where it belongs, in also region C, but C6 down there at the bottom as opposed to C1. So that being said, this is our project. The first live stream will continue off in the second one in about 5 minutes. Thank you for tuning in. 10 minutes, alright? 10 minutes.